Niles, this is an honor to interview you again. 5 years ago, I had the chance to interview you. I thought it was once in a lifetime experience, but
Now it's twice.
twice in a lifetime, and I'm glad. So you're coming back to Buenos Aires. What can the Buenos Aires audience expect from this new Nile Rodgers and Chic show?
We've obviously added more songs. It seems that the crowd likes the fact that I've done so many, so they like to hear more. So we add extra Bowie, extra Madonna, extra Daft Punk. It's cool. It's for us, it's more fun.
Obviously, you have to add more songs to the set list because you don't stop working. You're relentless. You have a 60 years career and counting. And I don't know, I'm tired. I'm tired just to look at your career. What keeps you younger?
So, it's I just did a session with great Argentinian producer, Biza.
Mm,
I mean, this is just last night,
okay.
that's 2 nights ago. And when I was with him, it felt so good. We were having so much fun. And I remember after I left the session, I was really tired. And I wrote, I want to do this until my final days. I love doing music. It was fantastic.
Your collaboration with Visa is new for me. Maybe you are giving me a scope. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know
the
if
first
it's
person that knows about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, and there's gonna be some collaboration. Did you were recording?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bizarrap featuring Nile Rodgers, or Nile Rodgers featuring Bizarrap is coming.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
coming.
That's good news. First legendary story. Uh, Everybody knows you have the hit maker, your iconic guitar, and you have told many times that you never sell your guitar. But
Never.
there was a time you lost your guitar. Can you
Yes.
remember it?
Yeah, my good
How was it?
friend, um, she was telling me a story because I'm a two-time cancer survivor. So she was telling me a story that I never knew that she actually had cancer at the time. And I was so shocked that she was telling me this because we were such good friends. I couldn't believe that she wouldn't share. She actually passed away. She was much younger than me. Um, and when she was telling me the story, I was so involved, and I actually forgot that my guitar was over my head. And when we got to the station, I was going to miss my stop. I ran off, and I didn't even remember that I had left my guitar on the train until I got all the way to my house. Well, you won't believe this. At that year, the year before, I had been driving a race car for Toyota, and they let me borrow it for a whole nother year. When I got to my house, the car was in my driveway. I got in the car and I drove faster than you can imagine. I did everything illegal and got to this last stop because I said to myself, if the guitar is not going to be taken away, it's going to be at the very end. So I drove to the end and I got there, and that's where the guitar was at the end.
And how did you feel to think that you have lost your all-time companion, your guitar?
I don't know what I would have done. Everything would be different. There is no guitar like mine in the world, except now Fender makes a copy, and the copy is very, very close, but it's still not exactly the same because my guitar was probably made, you know, not at the factory, probably at the guy's home because there's so many inconsistencies that you can tell that if it were at the shop, it wouldn't be this crazy model.
Now let's talk about your many producing skills. You have a concept, a very interesting concept. You proposed dessert before main course in your songs. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, because I write for a group of people to entertain. And if you want to get their attention fast, give them the part of the song that's the most exciting. To me, that's the chorus. The chorus is the payoff. So my simple philosophy is a song is an excuse to go to a chorus is an excuse to go to the breakdown. Done. That's how I think. And I've been making music like that my whole life. Uh, in the case of, say, something that uniquely comes along, like Daft Punk, where their philosophy is different, I try and do something that is something that you want to hear, like it's the chorus, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the chorus. Just another interesting, like the beginning of China Girl, that part, that dee 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 dee. I wrote that, just hours before we played it.
But sometimes the musicians, even David Bowie, doesn't get along with that concept.
Sometimes, but
Sometimes.
most of the time they do because it winds up sounding good. And believe me, the artists, I always am working for the artists. They can always say no. Well, if you don't do it that way, I quit. I never have done that. Usually they tell me that. They usually say, if you don't do it our way, you get fired, which is fine with me. I don't do this for me anymore. I satisfied that taste a long, long, long time ago. Now I do this for the artist. And that's why working with new people is so exciting to me. You can't imagine the amount of new records I have coming out this next year. It's crazy.
But in that case, Bowie finally listened to you. Let's
Of
dance.
course, of
Yeah,
course,
of course.
of course.
Legendary story number two. Can you tell us the moment you heard, you listened David Bowie record for first time? Do you remember
Yeah,
the story?
outside of my recording studio, yeah, I went to a club. It was a punk rock club, the Mud Club, and I had a white label disc. And of course, it didn't have any information. I just told the guy, I said, it just said David Bowie. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried it, and whatever the song was before that, it was something like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then all of a sudden he puts on Let's Dance. And of course, it's the 12-inch version. It's the version that I originally recorded. And it's long, and it starts out with the pocket trumpet solo and
Yeah.
everybody was dancing, and they stopped for a minute, and the next thing you know, they started grooving. And I was like, oh shit, this is unbelievable. We got a hit. And I told David the story. I said, man, I met a punk rock club and everybody is slamming and banging. And it just shows you the power of music. For some reason, this new groove, no one knew that it was David Bowie. Maybe the DJ said, I got a new one from Bowie, and I don't know. I don't think so. I think he just played the music, and it was fantastic. He proved to me what would wind up being the truth for the world, that
Yeah.
everybody loved that record, and it wound up being David's biggest record of his life, and nothing has ever come even close.
Now you have done so many productions, so many records, written so many songs. You have done a lot of soundtracks, but recently you've done something very special. You've done the Oppus movie
Yes,
soundtrack,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
you had to write and record a song that should sound like it was a hit.
30 years
So
before.
that's
Right.
tricky.
Yeah.
How do you
That
do
was
it?
that was interesting. The great thing about that is that I did it with Dream, who I've worked with on a couple of Beyonce songs, and everything that I've done with Dream has turned out fantastic because the way we work together, it's like we've known each other our whole lives. We just go in the studio and just magic just starts to happen. So um, we put our minds in the scene, and we just, we know what music sounded like 30 years ago. So we just put our heads in that scene and we just start writing. And I hear Dream sing something and I play music to go along with it. And it just seemed to work out great. But then we had to do for the same film, the his current John Malkovich was the star, and John Malkovich did the singing, and we recorded it the same way we would have recorded 30 years ago. It's the same way I did Let's Dance with Bowie, same way I did Diana Ross, just totally old school, no auto tune, no, nothing like that. You sing the song until you get it right. And that's what he did. And when you hear John Malkovich sing, you can't believe that it's that good. It really is that good. Um, and there's a new song in the film called 35 Millimeter, and it's just so good to hear John Malkovich go up an octave and start to sing in falsetto, and I'm very, very proud. I wish the movie were a hit, but but the music part is great.
Okay, that's it. Nile, did you say Diana Ross? Legendary story number three. We all know what you and Bernard Edwards have done for Diana. Is it true that Diana initially didn't like the sound of that legendary album?
So no, what happened? Actually, she loved it.
Okay.
But it was the most famous DJ in America who told her that it was not good. And it was like, wait a minute, how does the number one DJ tell you something and you don't believe him? I mean, he's was the most popular DJ in America. And she came back to the studio and she was really upset. And we had to convince her that not only would this be a hit, the main song that he was talking about was I'm Coming Out. And we said to her that not only will this be a hit, but it's going to be the song that you come out to for the rest of your life. Here's the truth. If you've ever seen a Diana Ross show in the last 40 years, she comes out to the song I'm Coming Out. Exactly what I told her. And believe me, I didn't know. I was just making it up. Um, and and it's true. When her show always starts with "I'm coming out to pop, boom, boom, da, to the bra, ba, 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 and and that's it. So
Incredible song. Incredible
yeah,
intro.
good,
Nile,
great.
yeah, everybody should know that these days, a Chic and Nile Rodgers concert is obviously about your music, about your career, but it's also about your life. And everybody who comes to the show in Buenos Aires should know that.
Yeah, it's I feel very lucky, and when you come to our show, you'll see that we still believe in our old art form. We don't have any click tracks. We don't have any secret backing tracks, So yeah, we may not have the same sound as almost every artist now, which I can't believe. Even the most famous artists, are using, and I understand, because they want it to sound great because they have it locked to the visuals and all that. But we believe that a concert is musicians playing. That's what a concert is. Anything else is a show. I don't do a show. I'm a musician. So if I were playing in a bar, just a little nightclub, I would do the same thing. That's where we come from. And the only thing that we do now that's a little bit different is we have better clothing. um, and we have, nice films going behind us and special effects. But what I do is I actually take a live film crew with us, a live camera crew. So our show is not just a reflection of some of the video graphics that we may have, but you'll see it. During our show, we can talk to the people. We can send messages to them, and it's specifically for that audience because my tech crew is right there with us in sync, and it has nothing to do with being tied to a click. It's being tied to the groove and the vibe and what we feel, and that's just our music. And it's not saying anything disparaging against other bands. That they do it that way because that's how they grown up. They're younger than me. Their audiences want to see everything perfect. They want to hear the vocals perfect. That's okay. That's not who we are. We're not perfect. We're just really good.
Thank you, Nile. It was a twice in a lifetime experience for me. I get my dancing shoes ready for the concert. So we'll see you.
Can't wait. Thank you very much.